Sorry, guys, I can't avoid it. Unidentified flying objects continue flying on WNBA courts. And last night, it took my attention away from the result of the Fever game, which I'll get to in a second, especially when players speak out about it. I thought what happened the other day was an isolated incident, but now apparently there's a sex toy trend when it comes to fans or whoever throwing lime green objects onto the court, and you can tell the players have noticed it, obviously, not only that they're commenting on it, but how quickly they're commenting on it. Sophie Cunningham must have, after the Fever beat the Wings, gotten on her phone or whatever, or heard about it and seen it, and hit send on a hilarious but true sentiment. This is what Sophie said from her account: "Stop throwing dildos on the court. You're going to hurt one of us." And that's a good point, because you're playing basketball, you run and you step on something like that, that ankle can go. Sophie's been dealing with ankle injuries all year. And, you could say only you can't blame the players here, but this is, if this had happened, it's so funny because whenever if the Fever were the direct perpetrators, even their fan base of anything like this, I wonder if it would be viewed in a completely different context than it has been. But this is what took place. This is in Chicago. It's been a Valkyries game both times, both wins. I saw someone note that the Valkyries are now 2-0 when a lime green dildo has been thrown onto the floor. But you see the poor ref has to kick it off. The ref should not have to do this. I know we don't love refs necessarily all the time, but that's outside the job description. That little nice sweep kick. Get it? And then the other guy's got the towel. That's my favorite part of the video. Of course he's got the towel. You don't know where that thing has been. I gotta pick it up that way. But yeah, so that happened. That kind of dominated a lot of headlines because it's just twice, right? Like twice. And Sophie Cunningham is never one to bite her tongue. So to see her address it and put it the way that she did is kind of amusing. The Fever get another win, by the way. So I will transition. I don't really have much more ammunition on that thing. I'm sure I could figure out a bunch of puns. It's hard to continue contemplating the meaning of that. I don't want to. Never mind. I don't want to blow my load. Right. Sorry. I'm gonna continue on in the video into what the Fever wound up doing on the court in that game. And this is actually a really big compliment that they were paid from the coach of the Dallas Wings, who I'm sure will get scrutiny from his own fan base for this. But I found it to be really noteworthy. He said this about the Indiana Fever after the Fever's fourth straight win, which came at his team's expense.
No excuses. Proud of our resilience in the fourth quarter, but again, we need a toughness right from the tip, and that's a great team to learn from. That game was all about toughness and physicality. It came out with them stagnating us offensively, couldn't do anything, couldn't get any type of movement or separation, and then on the boards as well. When you're missing shots, you have to play even harder on the other end to give yourself a chance and to be able to find ways to win when the ball is not going in.
So to hear the Fever praised for their toughness and physicality is a new one, right? Like that is not the identity you would have associated with the team. Even until very recently, you have to give Coach Stephanie White a lot of credit for that transformative kind of deal that you get from the Fever in a win like that as they continue to rise up the standings. I mean, the rebounding, 44 rebounds for the Fever to just 30 for the Wings. They held the Wings to 40% from the floor, 13% from three. And that's a testament to how much the Fever have improved on that end. Offensively, we know what they're capable of, especially when Caitlin Clark is back. But to be praised for their toughness is something new. Now, Caitlin Clark's, I don't want to say replacement, but obviously Ari McDonald, the player who has stepped up in her absence and will, I'm sure, continue to step up in a slightly different role once Caitlin Clark is back, continues to receive proper praise. This is what Kelsey Mitchell said about her still relatively new teammate after the game.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Like this is our blessing in disguise. We always tell her that we appreciate her seriously because our season was all over the place. Obviously, with the people that was on the team, the people that wasn't on the team, injury. Tutu not being around as much with her injuries, and just it takes a lot for a pro to step up and be where her feet is and step and fill in shoes that not a lot of people expect. And I think for Ari, she complements myself, all the other players so well because she just gets it as far as knowing where people are, knowing the chemistry. And I think for us to her, we have to make sure that we keep patting her on the back because this is a big position to fill, and I think that she's doing it unbelievably well. So shout out to you, A.
There you go. Look at that team bonding. It's a certain level of toughness to be able to deal with what the Fever have dealt with this season as well. Obviously, they also added Chloe Bibby. This play is I think a perfect example of what Bibby can bring to the team, especially even when Clark is back. But look at the way Aaliyah Boston continues to facilitate. And then Bibby gets to the corner, doesn't hesitate at all. She barely played, but she hit a couple threes. And again, Boston as that facilitator, and then having that corner three shooter, something they didn't have from a big position, a forward position, a stretch four in the past. So these are all reasons to believe in the Fever's ceiling. You look at the box score, again, it's a balanced effort in this one. 11 points from Natasha Howard, 16 boards. She continues to improve as the season has gone along. Kelsey Mitchell, another 23 points, just tough to guard. Sophie doing Sophie stuff out there, same as Lexi. Ari McDonald contributing the way she did. And then, Aaliyah Boston is this cog that can do everything. 12 points, 11 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals for AB. I mean, it's wasn't a pretty game. It's not one of those games that everybody's going to remember or look back on or anything like that. But it is another win. And the Fever are now piling up wins to the point where they're improving their position. You look at the standings. Here's where they sit right now. Just behind the Mercury, who are in a bit of a tailspin at the moment. Only a game behind the Dream. Hell, only a game and a half behind the New York Liberty up there near the top. So I don't think you can put a ceiling on what the Fever can accomplish. And this run also affords them the flexibility to continue to allow Caitlin Clark to get back to full strength. And that way, when Caitlin Clark returns, it is Caitlin Clark, not a limited Caitlin Clark. And having watched the Fever, there's not really a limit to what you can expect them to be able to possibly achieve this season if they can indeed get to full strength.